Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wyld. Today we are talking about DoorDash is trying a new way of making deliveries, and it doesn't involve gig workers. DoorDash is once again trying to convert their already existing independent contractor business model to a W-2 model. They tried this in New York City, and last I checked, it did not go so well for them. But the times have changed, the legal battles have taken place, and now they are taking a shot at it again, according to Business Insider. So with that said, we are talking about everything that's being said in this article, how it actually is for DoorDash, UberEats, and Grubhub drivers, and the future of the platform, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. DoorDash is experimenting with using employees with benefits, not just independent contractors, to make deliveries. The delivery service is working with at least 2 local providers, one in Austin, Texas, and another in Fresno, California, through its local commerce service partner program. The local providers handle hiring the employees, but the orders that they fill come from DoorDash. Oh, interesting. So as opposed to DoorDash hiring the employees, they're outsourcing the orders once again to a local distributor where they hire the employees and deliver the orders themselves. Instead of sending it directly to the driver, they're sending it to a quote-unquote dispatcher and they're handling it. That is an interesting take, but it also is a little concerning, isn't it? Because the entire point for a business to not have drivers on demand is so that way they're not just sitting around for a few hours not making money. Isn't this going to cause the same problem like what's going on there? But then again, the game is changed because DoorDash has 67% of market share for food deliveries. They won't necessarily have to worry about that. I'm actually curious to see how this is going to go. This is going to be interesting. Websites for both companies say they are hiring W-2 employees. That's a big change from the gig workers that DoorDash and other delivery services have largely built their businesses on. Yeah, no shit. It's going to be a huge difference in the amount that they're paying, especially if they're doing benefits as well. Though small in scale, the partnerships represent a fundamentally different business model from the one that DoorDash has used to become one of the largest delivery services. Since its founding in 2013, DoorDash has relied on independent contractors who are generally paid for each delivery they complete and have more flexibility about when they work than traditional employees. Uber, Lyft, Instacart, and other delivery companies have also relied on gig workers to build their businesses, leading to millions of people in the US into the gig economy. I will say this, regardless of whether or not you hate DoorDash or love DoorDash or whatever, it did pave a strong pathway for a lot of people to get into the gig economy and to find out exactly what they want to do with their future. Like, even if you didn't stick with food delivery, right? You started to realize that your money not being dependent on your activity or the time you put in, making it more based on the work you do as a self-employed individual is more valuable. That also said, what if you switch the game entirely? What if it was... And then there's also the point of being a business owner as opposed to being self-employed, but this is a big shift from being W-2 to self-employed. That's a huge move. But using employees who are paid hourly and work shifts of up to several hours at a time, make sure DoorDash always has people on hand to make deliveries, a company spokesperson said. No, that's not entirely true either. What you are ensuring is that DoorDash always has people who will accept orders and make deliveries, not choosing to decline orders that suck. There's a big difference. We remain committed to preserving and protecting the flexibility of independent work that the vast majority of Dashers prefer, a DoorDash spokesperson said, referring to the company's independent contractors. However, we know that there is a small subset of workers who prefer set schedules and the predictability of W-2 work, which is why we're piloting the LCSP in select markets to focus on maintaining healthy supply levels and supplement handling of new and different types of orders, the spokesperson added. Oh, that's a bunch of nonsense here. Let me fix that real quick.
We would rather Uber keep manipulating these drivers into doing whatever we want, but that's not working the way we thought it would. Because the government keeps taking our money and beating us up, so we're testing out this employee model to see if this will shut them up. And also get some of these no-tip orders done. Like, seriously, you have standards? How dare you not be our slaves? Gross.
Yeah, that sounds about right. One of the partner companies, Fresto Logistics, says on its website that it offers high-quality logistics services to restaurants, grocery, and convenience stores, and a variety of other businesses, retail, in the Fresno, California area through the Doordash platform. Fresno Logistics website touts the benefits for potential hires, including a $16 an hour wage, tips, reimbursement for the miles driven while on the job, healthcare, and paid time off. While not a direct comparison, that's much more than some gig delivery workers take home. A UC Berkeley study this year found that many make less than minimum wage after accounting for expenses such as gas, because they're accepting any and every order. Like, this is my problem with articles like this. You're trying to paint an image for what you would rather see with your political views and not understanding the business model as a whole, as opposed to actually looking at the full perspective and not trying to add an employee solution to an independent contractor problem. That's literally what you're doing. That's what DoorDash is doing, and that's what Business Insider is doing. It's sad and embarrassing. So I'll tell you what, I make much more than that, and it's honestly embarrassing that these people do this shit. Austin-based LCSP1, meanwhile, says on its website that it pays W-2 workers $13 an hour plus tips and pay per mile reimbursement of 10 cents. Full-time delivery employees work 4 10-hour shifts scheduled Monday through Friday each week, while part-time workers must make at least 20 hours worth of deliveries, according to the website. The homepage of its website says that the company offers employees gig work mentality with a career mindset. No, you don't. If you're teaching people gig work mentality with a career mindset, then you should be paying people for the work they do, not the time that they put in. That's embarrassing that you still are trying to push that narrative and you don't even know what you're talking about. What a failure logic. Gig workers lack many of the benefits and legal protections that employees get. Some gig workers have said that their pay has decreased over the last few years, especially compared to early 2020, when demand for the delivery of groceries, takeout food, and other goods rose. Well, first off, that logic is completely inaccurate. The order flow increased when the economy was better, when people had money to spend, when the order flow increased when the stimulus checks hit, not when everybody was locked up. There was two different things. And for a company like Business Insider to not look at the whole business picture, that's pretty sad. Second, yeah, we lack the benefits and legal protections that employees get because we're independent contractors. We're in business for ourselves. Did you even think about that? Do you know how to think? Do you have the capacity for that? Of course not. You're failures in every way. Others have had their accounts on delivery apps deactivated with little to no explanation, and some gig workers have pointed to performance metrics such as the percentage of potential orders that they accept, saying that they make the work more like a traditional job. In terms of the acceptance rate, yeah, we shouldn't be measured for that. And honestly, it's annoying that DoorDash pulls that crap. Second, yeah, they do have reward systems for acceptance rates, and that's annoying to everybody. Nobody likes that. What I really think that they nailed on the head, which they really did a great job with that, is pointing out how people get deactivated with little to no explanation. Because if they gave an explanation, they can lose in court. And that's kind of the piss poor integrity and character that DoorDash operates on. Making deliveries as an employee could solve some of those problems by giving workers more predictable pay and reimbursing them for the miles driven. Now, hold on a second. How is that going to solve the wrongful deactivation systems? How is that going to account for the performance metrics as an employee? That's not going to solve those problems. That's only going to change the way people make money. And at the end of the day, and as proven in New York City and Seattle, they will make less money because that's how it works. Seriously, people don't think when they do these things. The amount delivery services pay gig workers has been going up in some cities too. New York City and Seattle recently enacted laws meant to raise gig worker pay. Yet that's exactly what they failed to do. You see, this is the kind of shit that I hate about Business Insider. That's why I don't like dealing with them. You're not even telling the full story. People are making so much less money, so much so that they've left New York City entirely. There used to be 123,000 in New York City alone. Now there's like 60,000. And everyone is hating how it works because their order flow is shot, and it's gotten much more dangerous for them because they're sitting around more getting robbed. How about instead of painting a narrative for politics' sake, you actually provide information that makes sense? Business Insider has failed as a company. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. Aside from the politics of trying to lie to the general public about what's making more money and what isn't, I think this is a very interesting approach that DoorDash is now taking. Instead of taking on direct partnerships with the drivers, they're taking partnerships with dispatchers, and those dispatchers are hiring employees or independent contractors. In this case, it's employees. I'm curious to see how the income sources are different here, because I'll tell you what, dispatching services do make some sort of money. That is exactly what Deliver That, Food Fetch, Zifty, and other companies are doing with EasyCater. EasyCater handles the order flow coming in, and another company handles the order flow going out. Again, I'm not a fan of being a W-2 employee, but I am curious to see how the dispatch service works, because I'll tell you what, that would change our position entirely. Imagine instead of being the gig worker delivering, you're outsourcing the deliveries for DoorDash. I'm curious to see what that pay model is going to look like. Either way, let me know in the comments what you're thinking about all of this, because I think that would change the game and put us in a very intriguing position, to say the least. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.